And we're back with a half an hour gap.
Yeah, sorry, Adam needed a toilet break. So. Not quite sure what happened there, but
at least I didn't get the swearing.
Yes, you missed all the swearing.
You missed all the fun.
You missed Adam taking his shirt off and going crazy.
Yeah.
You missed Brexit.
Missed Brexit.
The Brexit thing, thank God, you missed it all.
Actually, the whole time Bhavini was talking about Brexit.
Yeah, but we just went off on one on Brexit. So apologies about that. 2017 and Brexit have clearly caused some
massive
issues with the systems here at Fusion and Mitch the Taxman, but we're back, so thank you. Right, there's still a chance to win.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows who won in the parallel dimension.
Yes, good. There's still a chance to win.
It was a woman.
There was a woman. There's still a chance to win this squishy little dice here. It's actually branded with.
Branded. This is stress dice.
Very good. It says bet on us. LondonLawPractice.com.
It seems like a gambling theme running through. I think playing cards and a visit to Houses of Parliament with afternoon tea.
Yeah.
Which I think is
lovely. So afternoon tea and the dice, and we're back and we're happy to be here again. So get your questions in. We're going to be running, sorry for the delay, we were planning on running for about 45 minutes, so we're going to run for the next 15 minutes. Let's smash the questions out, get them in to Bhavini or Adam or myself. Tax, business, IT, law, social media. Right, Adam, go on.
Well, should we answer some of the questions from the one that obviously no one heard the answers to?
Yeah. Well, as long as it wasn't a Brexit one.
Okay, we're going to pass the Brexit one. Let's go through some of these questions. So, let's see. So,
hey, Paris, why don't you get a question in instead of just sitting there looking at us?
Preshil said, "Good evening, all. ... Auto enrolment is a standard
question.
It might have been an apparel universe, but
no, I think we've done this one.
We've done this one.
Yeah.
I think the one about
Brexit. Yeah, that killed it.
Pranav's one about.
Okay, go on, do that one.
Okay, so Pranav, it was announced today that the UK economy grew by 0.6% in the fourth quarter. Consequently, the fears of a decline in the UK economy following the Brexit vote hasn't materialised as yet. That's gone again. I'm joking. No. Have law firms or accountants
do the
frozen, let it go type of thing?
No,
the mannequin thing.
Yeah,
that's what we were doing for the last half an hour. We froze.
A bit old school.
Yeah, but have law firms or accountants seen any change in the way their businesses are operating since the Brexit vote? And as a bonus question for Bhavini, what impact could Brexit have on businesses considering litigation in the event of a dispute?
And I think the answer to that one was that most professional services are very easily transferable. I mean, we can trade without having to worry too much. So with law firms, and certainly from us, from our point of view, we're looking much more global. We're looking outside even the European Union, looking at the States and other places with which there might be changes in kind of trade laws and so on and so forth. So I think for professional services businesses, it's worth saying that one of the things to do would be to look outside of our borders and not just to be UK focused. And on the dispute side, I think there are two parts to that. The first is, I think the question is asking what happens to litigation, what happens to the UK as a place where people are litigating things. London is known as a centre of excellence actually when it comes to resolving disputes, because we have such settled law and such competent judges in courts, and because we have great arbitration. And I don't think Brexit will really affect that too much, because we've got people with existing contracts, but also there's, as I said, it's just well established. I think that the only issue that the courts will face in the future is that they're just not very geared up to deal with the new world, the technologies.
So here's a side question for you. Let's say that there's been a piece of legislation which came from Europe. What happens after Brexit to that particular law? That doesn't get enshrined in UK law, does it?
No, so what we've got is, so I guess there are a few different parts to this. So Article 50 is due to be triggered.
I really want the dice, by the way.
You didn't type it.
Triggered at the end of March, and then we've got 2 years in which we're negotiating really with the European Union. Now I think the likelihood is that there's going to be a transference of a lot of our legislation into UK law. We simply might say, actually we want all of the employment law legislation, we just take it. And in fact some people have argued that we've always been slightly ahead of the curve anyway when it comes to our employment law. So that might work. There might be other areas, for example immigration, which is something we talked about earlier, where there's going to be fundamental changes. And so you're very likely to see those. So I think in the next 2 years, depending on what type of negotiations take place, what are they going to be discussing, we'll see changes. But I think the changes will be in immigration and trade. I think those seem to be the two big areas where there is leverage in bargaining.
Okay. Very interesting, guys. I see we've got some, we're up to about 20 people watching, which is great. So get your questions in. You'll win a live tour, a tour of Parliament. So you'll be live, and followed by an afternoon tea and a nice dice. A dice,
and playing cards.
Playing
cards, okay? Get your questions in, okay?
Brochure. When did the brochure get printed?
Brochure.
In Malawi.
We've had some good questions from Anura and Kishan and Adam and Lena in particular. So guys,
Lena's was more of a statement.
Yeah, question state. It's up for Bhavini to interpret. We've had a like and a love heart just now, and another like. So there we go. People love the dice.
Adam, are you liking it?
I'm liking it, absolutely.
They love the dice.
Kishan's liked it.
Kishan wants a pay rise. Right. I think someone has commented there. But before we go there, so Adam, if you just want to...
Difficult to read what the questions are and answer your question at the same time.
Okay.
So maybe carry on with something else.
I'm going to carry on with something else. So we've touched upon Brexit.
I'm ready now. So Ilan says, howdy.
Howdy.
Howdy, Ilan. I was with you a couple of hours ago. Barry, with the continuing death of the high street, how important do you think social media is to modern small businesses, and how do you envisage social media changing in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, good question, Paris. Thanks for that.
Who's Paris? Isn't that a country?
Yeah.
No, it's a city.
It's also his name. But yes, I think as social media is consistently changing, and even more so, I think it's particularly changed over the past 6 months to a year, and I think 2017 is going to be a real change in how businesses approach social media. I think for a local business, it's really important to start joining local business groups, certainly on Facebook, and engaging on on there, and just attracting the clients in
Sorry to interrupt. Barry says enjoying the chat.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Your support means a lot to all of us, and engaging in there. And then I think it depends how the business wants to scale. You know, and then looking at LinkedIn, I still think that local shop owners could be engaging more on LinkedIn, utilising, getting in touch with suppliers, getting in touch with potential distributors, clients, setting up their own groups on there. But the thing is, with a shop owner, like a small business owner, is the time, and what we touched upon earlier was trying to automate a lot of things.
Can I just a little bit on the social media side?
Sure.
I think there are two things that I think. Social media, I think, can work really powerfully for local businesses. You know, if you get your local restaurant and they've got a real kind of strong following, social media can work really well on Instagram and lots of different things. The other part where we see issues sometimes arising though is when you get a bad review, for example, if you're a local business. And I think it's important to kind of deal with that in a very non-confrontational way. So when people come to us and say, look, we've had this review, we don't agree with it, we think it's defamatory, for example, quite often the advice is, look, go back and deal with them as if they're a customer. You know, go back and maybe comment, write back and say, what do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's interesting. We had a client in that exact same situation, and she said to us that it was a newspaper article, and then there was some negative social media, but it was dated back for 10 years ago or something. And she responded on Facebook with her comments in a nice, friendly way, saying this review was 10 years ago, blah, blah, blah. And subsequently, she's had a number of inquiries off the back of her response. So yeah, it's a really good point.
I mean, I think it's important to kind of deal with it with the seriousness with which it should be given. I mean, there are instances, for example, care homes where we've had where people have posted things on Facebook, and for them actually it's a very serious issue. If someone makes allegations on Facebook about the level of care, then actually you might want to get a solicitor involved to say, look, this is a post that is defamatory because it has such serious consequences. But depending on what the post is, it's good to kind of use the social media to be able to reach out and deal with people as if they're people and appropriately, and only bring in the legal bit when.
Yeah, and just finishing on your question, Paris. So thanks for that. Is just now I think if you get the right Facebook advertising or social media paid advertising campaign linked with a landing page. Potentially that can really prove successful. Adam, I don't know if you just want to touch upon the importance of a landing page and what that can do.
Yeah, absolutely. So a landing page basically is a very, very simple website with one page, and it's designed to be the place where people go to when they click on an advert or a post or those kind of things. So rather than directing someone to, say, the main page of your website where there's lots of things going on and there may not be as many call to actions, which is where basically someone would put a direct contact form or something to fill in, or a phone number. What a landing page does is allow you to very, very clearly focus the visitor into a certain action. So, for example, it would open up and say, something like self-assessment tax returns from £45 a month. Enter your details below and receive a 15-minute free consultation with a tax advisor. That is a landing page because it's very, very direct, it's very focused, the user can't go off anywhere else, it's very, very direct. And landing pages do increase conversions by something like 64% or 5%.
There we go, and we do this for a number of our clients, we do it for ourselves. The landing page, directing them in rather than to your website, is something you should look at. It's not too expensive as well. If anyone needs help with landing pages, by all means get in touch with myself or Adam, mainly Adam, and we can help you. So Paris, thank you very much. You're in with a shout to win a squishy dice. Remember guys, we're on for the next 10 minutes. Get your questions in and you'll win a great prize chosen by Bhavini. What's got any more guys?
A quick shout out to Lawrence Field, who for some reason is taking screenshots of our live video and putting it on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Lawrence.
Thanks, Lawrence. Appreciate it.
And you put, he's so handsome.
At least we're still live.
He's talking about me.
Obviously.
You talking about me? What's that other comment there? Lena. What did she say? Lena. She wants a prize.
Lena. What are you saying, Lena?
Just go and look at it.
I'm looking at it now. Lena's not saying anything.
Oh, maybe I'm.
What's that one?
Lena Mystery, you can see it at the.
Yeah. Just go and look at it.
Lena's not saying anything.
Who's that one at the bottom?
Oh, there's one here from Lena.
Yeah.
In turn, sorry, can't get the staff.
You can see it.
Sorry, it hadn't actually updated on my phone yet. Right, so let me just like it first. So we've got a like. Okay, Lena.
Thumbs up, like us.
In terms of which market does it reach? That's it.
No, it's right there. Can you see?
Keep it up. Lena's saying. Keep it up.
Shall I take a look?
Yeah, go on, go take a look. Go
Great.
take a look. So guys, we're talking business, we're talking tax, we're talking law. Get your questions in.
Does a landing page bring more attention and views to your company or whatever you are trying to get attention for? Is it cost effective? In terms of which market does it reach? Keep it up.
Definitely it's cost effective, but you might have to ask Raj to see if he thinks it's cost effective.
It's not very expensive to build a landing page. The key is making sure the design and the branding matches your website and your brand. So it does need an element of graphic design, but landing pages are fairly simple. We can show you some examples.
Yeah, our prices are fairly. Should we go through it, or our prices are fairly competitive? So fixed fee on the landing page, and then we can help you. That's no problem.
Should I jump in here with a little bit about terms and conditions and all that kind of stuff?
Privacy policy, cookie policy.
Cookie policies. So I mean, I think it probably ties in very much with what your clients are doing anyway. But if you're buying or selling online, then you need to have your terms and conditions and your website terms and conditions, your privacy policy and cookies policy and all sorts of other things. And the reason for that is because, I mean, talking about European law, we've got European legislation as to how we deal with consumers and customers, and we've got legislation about how to deal with data. So if you're inputting your data onto a website, the person who has that website has to tell you how they're going to be managing it. So that's when you would get a lawyer involved, and certainly it's very important if you are buying or selling anything.
So here's a quick question. Yeah. Why would a small business or a sole trader or a new startup, why would they go to a lawyer rather than going and Googling free privacy policy, free cookie policy, free template?
Yeah. Look, we had that conversation earlier. Right?
We did.
So there are, and I won't say there are no merits to going online and finding a template document. Actually, it means that sometimes if you don't have a budget for something, you have the availability of information, and I don't think that's a bad thing. The problem with just pulling something off the internet or downloading something is that it won't entirely fit your business. So that if something goes wrong, this is the reason why you have it. You have your information on your website for various different reasons. One is to give the consumer information. Very often that information will be in those template documents. What it won't do is the second part, which is protect you as a business. And that's what you want to have that information for. So what if, you know, someone puts their information into your website and something happens to that information? You need to have something on that says, actually, we're compliant, we've dealt with it properly, and this is the reason why there's no compensation due here. Similarly, it's the same thing for your products. You know, and so it won't be entirely bespoke to your business. And when it comes to it, and if you need to rely on it, it may not be suited to you. That's why you want to go and get
I agree.
Yeah, very good. Last 5 minutes, guys. Any questions? You'll win a tour of Parliament followed by tea for two. The best questions, we've had about 10 questions in, so the last 5 minutes, we're just going to round off with an interesting client that we've all been working on. So Adam, if you just want to say something interesting that you've been working on.
Okay, so a couple of different things. Or actually, in a parallel universe, we were only supposed to do one, so I'll only do one this time. I've been working with a client who is in the process of trying to recruit a new management team and a new sales team, and working out their contracts, their KPIs, their targets, compensation packages, you know, all of that kind of thing, working out how that ties in with their forecasts and their plans and budgets. Very interesting stuff.
Great stuff. Bhavini?
Okay, so we've been involved, I mean, as I said earlier, we can cover lots of different things. We've been involved in a transaction. Recently, we're buying a manufacturing plant for a client, and that process involves kind of doing the due diligence for that plant, so you kind of make sure you know what you're buying, and then drafting the documentation on the back of it, and that's for the business and for the property. And that's quite a nice bit of work to start the year with. Great client. It's interesting because it's you know, you're also buying a manufacturing business, which is slightly different to some things we've done before. And so that's a piece of work we've been involved in.
Fascinating, good stuff. And obviously I've been doing self-assessment the last 5 days, helping our clients. Just to let you know, our package is £45 a month, and that includes the preparation and submission of your tax return. It includes one tax planning meeting with myself. It also includes tax fee investigation insurance. So if ever you were to get investigated on the return that we submitted for you, the time spent in dealing with that would be covered. And it includes potentially coming on the Mr. Taxman show and dealing with Adam if you want. So £45 a month, we can handle any last minute. So if you need to do your tax return, give us a shout. We'd be delighted to help. And of course, it's tax deductible if you're a self-employed business owner or you rent your property. So let us know. Thanks for everyone for getting involved today. We've had a lot of questions. Apologies for the little break in play. And Bhavini's now, is there another question there from Nina? I think that is. I don't know if it's a bit too late. But Bhavini's going to choose the winner of the prize. So, do you remember everything?
Do I remember?
So, on the first session, I think we narrowed it down between Anura, and your friend, what's your friend called?
Oh, Pranav.
Pranav, and Kishan Bhatt. And on this, on section 2,
we had Barry.
We had Paris.
We had Ilan saying howdy.
Ilan, thanks, good contribution.
We had
Lena, but surely it's not legally binding, question mark. So if they don't make the deadline, Mitch, of the end of the month, what actually happens? There we go, Lena, you love it. Yeah, you get an automatic £100 penalty. It doesn't matter if you've got, even if you have no tax to pay, you have a duty to submit a tax return, you'll get an automatic £100 penalty. About 2 years ago, you could appeal if you had no tax to pay and you got an automatic penalty, but now they've scrapped that and you will get an automatic £100 penalty even though there's no tax to pay. So that's what happens. So get it in to avoid the £100.
Who's gonna win?
Who's going to win?
This is tricky because Anura.
Yeah.
Anura was
the first show.
The first show, and in this show we've had Lena's been very enthusiastic.
Yes.
So
good words.
really
well, maybe you can split it. You can give the cards and the and the dice and the
brochure.
London Law brochure
I'm finding it very tricky.
to one. And then you can give the government, the Parliament tour and the and the T for 2 to someone else. I don't know.
Well, why don't we do this? Because I really did like the Brexit legislation questions.
That surprises me.
We'll go for Anura for the
T for 2.
T for 2.
Well done, Nina.
All the merchandise.
Nina, look, you've won this nice stress dice. And cards.
And cards.
And brochure. And business cards.
I'll be delivering them personally to you. Thank you very much. Thanks to Bhavini for coming in. If you want to contact Bhavini, her details are...
Bhavini Kalaria at the London Law Practice. You can also contact us on 0208 343 6042.
Yes. And if you want to contact me, it's Mitch at fusionconsult.co.uk. And thank you to Adam. And you can contact Adam at fusionconsult.co.uk. Adam and I will be back next month with a new guest.
And a new camera. So if you get a few more £45 a month tax returns in, we can get a new camera. Come on, so it won't freeze. We're just helping you guys out. Mitch was doing the Frozen Elsa dance.
Yeah, guys. Hopefully we look a bit more refreshed in February once the tax deadline is out the way. Thanks for joining. Thanks everyone, and good evening.
Thank you.